What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Commercial Kitchen Chronicles. Tonight, I am flying solo. Jason is down there battling Milton, and Rich is probably working. That dude's been working a million hours lately. But I do have very special guest Korbin Finley on. That name sounds kind of familiar, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But first off, I want to thank Viper Refrigeration Technologies for helping out with the show. So this episode is sponsored by Viper HVACR products. Did you know that Viper's NSF registered coil cleaners are a must-have for kitchen maintenance? No rinsing required. Plus, Viper's HVACR products were created by technicians for technicians, ensuring top-notch quality. Viper believes in performance without hazardous ingredients. So, what is going on, Korbin?
What's up?
So, some of you guys may recognize him as my apprentice in some of my older videos for the last couple of years. This is actually my oldest son. He is 21. He'll be 22 next week or the week after. Pretty soon.
18th.
But the 18th. But he has been with General Parts for 26 months or so.
A little over 2 years, yeah.
A little over 2 years.
Couple months.
So I never thought that this one would be working with me. Now, the other one, he's always wanted to work with me. But this one, there was no way I would have ever guessed this happened. It was a turn of events, and he came one day and said he wanted to apply where I worked at, and I told him no. And next thing you know, he's riding in a van with me. So what's going on, man?
Not much. It's been a long time coming, I guess, to get on this thing.
Yeah, I've been trying to get him on since he started, and he didn't want nothing to do with it. And I asked him the other day, and he said yeah. And I was like, holy smokes, he's actually said yes. I didn't have to talk him into it. So I'm excited to have him on and get that perspective of someone 19 years old just starting in this and building up what he's built. It's pretty cool. So. Oh, Brian Sanders is already starting in on the hair comments. Yeah, both my kids have full head of hair. You gotta see his brother's hair. His brother's got a mullet. It's like looks like a mop on his head. Corbin used to have the mullet, but he kind of outgrew that stage, I think.
Got too messy. Had to clean it up a little bit.
Dude, Dalton gets hit with the hairnet everywhere, dude.
Oh yeah.
He tries to wear the hat, and some places still make him wear a hairnet. So I was like, "You gonna cut that thing off or what?" He's like, "No."
He'll get there.
So Corbin's been with us for a little over 2 years. He's excelled a lot. I'd never imagined he'd work with me. I'm really proud of him though, because he's got a different take on it. He's got one of those mentalities where you don't quit. He's had that ever since he was a little kid, playing sports, video games, or whatever. He's just one of those people. He's not gonna get beat by something, so he really he sticks it out. I mean, and he figures it out, and he wins, and it works out for him. Is that what you think? Is that what you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
So recently, he's been doing a lot of training. He's been through Alto Shaam last spring. He just came back from Rational, so he's ramping up on the combis. I know he's wanting to start doing some refrigeration this winter. So you're just trying to learn everything you can and make the money you can, aren't you?
Yep. It's about the money.
Yeah, the more you know, the more you can make. So
yeah.
So why did you decide you want to give this a try?
So I started out in high school, not really knowing what I was wanting to do. Thought about college. Wasn't getting it paid for, so wasn't gonna pull out a big loan and not knowing where I'm gonna go, what I'm gonna do. So I started working for a city doing road work. Wasn't making too much there, but they had a apprenticeship for a lineman apprentice. So I took my shot at that, took a test. I thought I did pretty well, but didn't hear back. I wanted to get into the trades, and I knew my dad was in the trades, and he had a pretty good career there. So I just took a shot at it. Still here.
Still here, yeah. It's been fun working with you. I get to work with both my sons, and I'm proud. I get to see him grow and develop. His brother's only been here a couple months, so he's still in that struggle bus stage. But it's pretty cool. So, you're 21 years old. You got a lot of friends that have college debt. You got friends that are in college. Um, you got friends that are really smart and don't know what they're going to do, and that kind of stuff. I mean, we're not knocking college. It's just make sure you go for something you can make some money at and make a living with it. Don't go
Right.
because you can go and then, well, I can't do anything with this degree, and then you're stuck with a bunch of money. Corbin wanted to chase his buddy out to Oklahoma, and his buddy went out there for rodeo, but it probably would have been party city for Corbin instead of class.
That was the plan. I was like, you know what? I probably shouldn't do that. Probably should not. Probably a
So
bad idea.
probably a bad idea. That's funny. So what did you think when you first started doing this? Were you like, "What the hell did I get into?" or what?
The first couple weeks, I was clueless. I didn't know how to turn a wrench. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Took me a few months to learn that. But
Hold on.
after just getting on my own really, and then sticking it out there until about like the 9 month mark, just a couple months by myself, where I'm wrestling fryers and crying in my van because I not
Uh,
actually, but almost crying in my van a few times. It's just
I re
just after that, just sticking
I
with
remember
it, and it turns out.
I remember when I first started, I smoked back then, and I'd get so frustrated. I just got to the van and smoke a cigarette and just like get away from it forever. I'd be out in the van just like smoking cigarettes. And like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Um, luckily, I had some people I could call, that helped me out. And you got the same thing. You got people you could call, me, a couple of other technicians, can help you out when you struggle. So it's always good to have.
Yeah.
Um, so, you're 21 years old, and a lot of people don't know this. So he's 21. He's owns a house. He's got a new Bronco, a new fancy Bronco, all jacked up. Got two dogs, girlfriend. So I mean, he's ahead of the game for most people at 21 years old. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
That's funny. So yeah, people are asking about Jason. So I haven't heard from him. I just messaged him. Hopefully he's all right. He's down there right in Tampa Bay area. So we'll see. Hopefully I hear from him soon. See what's going on. Let's see what else is going through here in the comments. Um, so what are some of the things you'd have to tell people if they were thinking about getting in this industry? Would you suggest it? Would you scare them off, or what would you do?
I definitely suggest it. It's but it comes with warning too. If you do get into it, you're gonna struggle at first, but don't let it uh don't let it deter you. Just stick with it, I guess. It's rewarding for sure. Um, it's a lot of fun once you get to the point of being able to fix something
Yeah, and
correctly.
you gotta have that mindset where you want to do different things too, because this isn't a job where you're gonna do the same thing over and over. I mean, sometimes it gets that way if you're doing a special project. Your brother got kind of hosed with Taco Bell where he was doing the same thing every day for about 2 months straight. But most of the time, that's not the case for this job. You're all over the place. I mean, you're pretty much your own boss. You're in a van, like you call the office if you have problems or if something gets messed up or you have issues, but you're your own boss. You get to drive around, do whatever you want, listen to the radio, talk on the phone. It's pretty fun most of the time.
Yep.
So
Most of the time.
most of the time, Brian wants to know what is your favorite and least piece of equipment to work on.
Oh, okay. Um, Definitely combis is my favorite. Um, and I'll say the name because I like them. Alto Sham. Alto Sham's a good manufacturer. Um, Least favorite would have to be steam tables.
Especially when,
You're in a weird angle. You're underneath it. You take that panel off. You got insulation, and you're getting in your mouth, your eyes. Yeah, that's not a good time.
yeah. Speaking of steam tables, me and Dalton were at that hospital working the other day, and Dalton was like, "Hey, that's a steam table Corbin's messing with," and we're he got kind of got hosed on it. The unit was labeled one thing, and they had it fed with something else, and they changed the elements and didn't bother marking the equipment as being 208 instead of 120 or the other way around. And Corbin changed the elements and it blew him up immediately and all kinds of fun stuff. So it happens, man. I hate steam tables too, dude.
Yeah.
Should be my big ass climbing underneath there.
Yeah, I think that one did it too. I came the second time I came back, I brought a mask and safety glasses. Yeah, was not having it.
So, in 2 years, what's one of the most memorable or most memorable calls you've worked on? Maybe good, bad, or indifferent. What's something that sticks in your mind about what you've done in the last 2 years?
It's a tough question. A lot of good, a lot of bad. Um,
Any one call that you just stuck it out and beat it? And I know you've called me a couple times with some stuff, and you asked me, "Hey, do you know what this does?" And I said, "No." And you're like, "Well, I do. I figured it out, and this is what it is." You just got to gloat a little bit. So,
yeah, I get those. I get those.
yeah, he's kind of taken over the Alto Sham. I used to do a bunch of them, but now he's pretty much doing them all. I've kind of moved on to some other stuff. I kind of fill a role where I just do what's needed. Um, and it's never the same thing. It's always all over the place. So right now I've transitioned into a little more rationale, and then he's been taken up to Alto Sham, but he's really excelled at the Alto Sham. He's actually was Tech of the Month a few months ago. So he's got his picture up on the wall there in Wisconsin. So that's pretty cool. I haven't got Tech of the Month, so I'm kind of jealous about that one.
Yeah, they're easy to work with. The ovens and the people there, the tech support tech support
Yeah,
guys over there.
yeah. Tech support guys are really good there. I've got a pretty good relationship with one of the regional managers. He's not our regional manager, but he's out Northeast. Scott Westbrook. He's a really good guy. He's a outdoorsman. He's pretty cool. He helps me out. I deal with our regional, when I have to, when I need to. But yeah, the tech support guys are really good. They're on point. And they're I really like those combi ovens. I mean, they're simpler. They're boilerless. You just gotta make sure you get some good water treatment on there. You're gonna get some lime scale
Yep.
and build up on the glass and stuff. But I mean, we've been putting RO on most of them. It seems to be taking care of all that stuff. So what are some of your goals you want to do in the next year or so working in this industry?
A year or so. Hopefully, number one, start on refrigeration. That's hopefully in the next couple months. But I'll probably be riding with you again a little bit. So there in Travis. Um, Want to do some rationale as well.
Yeah, we're gonna get you worked into Rational. I know you just got back in class. Trying to work everybody through, ride with me a little bit, and seeing, because class was on the newer stuff. It wasn't on the older stuff.
Yeah, not really.
So,
Not,
I mean, you're not gonna know any Wii or white efficiency stuff they got out there. Dalton and I got our butts kicked on one this week. They went to that newer style motor that, like, one motor replaces all of them, and you get that little board you got to do.
hmm.
Have you seen that?
Yep.
Yeah, you've seen that because you get
Yeah.
you got hosed on it. So that clean jet pump plugs into that board, but they made the plug wrong, so it'll plug in both ways. So it'll plug
Yeah,
in.
I didn't know that. So I guess when I did it, I just got it right. 50-50 chance. So,
So yeah, did Dalton tell you about it?
yeah.
Dude, we like, I was like, I mean, I ran this thing, I plugged it in, I kept blowing fuses and unplug it, and like it worked. And I was like, well, it's not in the wiring harness, it's not in the relay board. So I ordered a new motor and pump, and we came a new pump and a board, and came back yesterday and put it in there, same thing. And I was like, I tried everything, and like finally I was like, man, I hate calling the factory. That's like my least favorite thing to do is call any manufacturer, and not just Rationale, any of them. I hate calling them. Like, I only call if I absolutely have to, or if I'm forced to do it. And I had to call, and of course, you got to go through 3 people for your tech support there. And the guy's like, well, I explained to him what I did. And he's like, hold on, let me check something. He put me on hold and came back. He's like, hey, that plug for the old motor, it could plug in backwards on there. And I looked, and I was like, oh, it's marked L1, neutral and ground. And I flipped it around. I said, oh, yep, that's it. See you later. Click.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, get off the phone as fast as I could. So yeah, we changed it and it worked perfect. I was like, well, I came back for nothing. That was a rough call though. We show up to the school and no one called us let them know we were coming, and they were on fall break. I pull in the parking lot. There's not a car in the parking lot. So, what are some of the challenges you see day to day? Just new stuff all the time. I mean, I remember being in, 2 years in, 3 years in, 3 years in is when you start. You're going to be good. You start really feeling yourself. You start, taking on more challenges and stuff. But what are some of the struggles you see right now?
Here recently, just maybe not recently, but a few months ago, just they were putting me on a bunch of new equipment, just stuff I haven't seen. But it's a good thing as well, because I mean, you gotta the more you know, the better, I guess.
Yeah, and you gotta. It helps you adapt and overcome and figure things out too. I like seeing new things. It's always a challenge, but you gotta kind of. Sometimes you learn on the fly. I mean, I pretty much learned my whole career on the fly, and you will too. I mean, it doesn't get any better the longer you do it. I still
Right.
walk in. I still walk in. I've been doing this 18 plus years. I still walk in and be like, what is this? How do I even turn this thing on? And you just go through it. I mean, use your meter. I will say one of my proudest moments working with you was that day on that dish machine at that nursing home. I was with you. I forget why. And you walked in and it wouldn't turn on. And you said, I got this. You sat down, looked at the wiring schematic, and you went right through it. And you're like, go test the power supply. It's the power supply. I was like, all
I
right.
remember that week. I don't know what happened. Something flipped in my head, and then it was on from there.
Yeah, that was a cool feeling. I was like, hey, he just figured that out. He read the schematic. Let's go. That's
Yep.
probably one of the hardest things for guys to understand is that schematic. And some days I can do it, some days I can't. Um, some of these manufacturers, they're pages. Like
Mm.
you look at a page and it's like one section and it tells you like the wire goes to this page, this section. You got to flip to that page, that section. Those are the ones that absolutely drive me nuts. But if you can pull a panel off and the whole thing's there on one big sheet of paper, I can figure it out.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm great, but I'm good now, I think, on wiring diagrams. But it helps a lot if you can just figure out where the wires are going. If it's in a big bunch.
So
So that's
mechanical environments. I'm not sure if it's Megan or Matt. There's some friends of ours in Denver, Colorado. They specialize in cannabis grow ops. They do HVAC there, so it's pretty cool. Some of the stuff they work on, it's a lot different than most HVAC stuff out there. But they said, where do you want to take your trades career? Are you going to be staying in kitchens, or do you want to branch out into more stuff besides kitchens? Or
I mean, I'd say just kitchens. For right now, at least for what I'm thinking, it might change in the future, but pretty I like what I'm doing now.
yeah, yeah, it's fun. It's different, but it's fun. Rich made it in the chat. He said he tried to make it, but he couldn't. So good to see you here, Rich. We'll get you back on the show one day. It's been about 4 or 5 weeks, I think. He's out there just working his tail off. Let's see what else is going through here. We covered that. We covered that. Um, let me see. I'm just scrolling through the chat, see if I can hit everything. So, let's see. I'm not prepared at all for this tonight. Sorry, it's been a long day. I've been up since 2 o'clock in the morning.
Should have had Rich in here. Would have
Should
done
have
well
Rich in
right
it.
there.
I wanted Jason, but he's battling the storm. I can't believe he didn't evacuate. He just stuck it out. Hopefully he's all right. A little worried about that dude, but um, you know, it's this industry is ever changing, evolving. You've done some training stuff. You went to Cefesa and you did the EGSW, right? Electric
Yep,
gas,
yep.
steam water. What was that like? I mean, you had only been here probably what 6, 9 months by the time you went there and did
I
that.
think it was 6 months. So I think it was a good class. Um, I learned some of the basics, um, and then it got a little bit farther in the class, and then I was kind of getting lost. But that's being 6 months in. I think it would be more beneficial maybe around 8, 10 months or so. But yeah, it was good. I liked Alto Sham class was really good. Rationale was good too.
Yeah, we're
Alto Sham they had like mock-ups of problems like units. They had like 4 groups, 4 units, and then they'd put bad components in there, switch wires around, then you have to figure it out. So that was that was my favorite.
Sweet. So any other training you'd like to see? I know you want to do refrigeration, but any other pieces of equipment you'd like to train on? I know we got some stuff coming up you're going to be in. I know we got Fry Master. I'll be teaching coming up next month, and then I think we're going to do Turbo Chef and maybe December as well. So, anything else you're looking forward to learning and training on?
Not that I can think of right now, but definitely microwaves, Turbo Chef, once they get in there, because I'm close to clueless on those.
I'm not much further along, so don't feel bad. The microwaves get me, man. I can do a few things, but sometimes they just I don't know if it's just I don't have any formal training on them. I'm a little paranoid or what, but I don't really care for them. But hopefully they'll change. I think we're gonna get a couple day class coming up, so it'll be kind of fun and exciting to learn. So
Yeah, it's a little more scary when you don't have any training on it. I think that's the worst part about it. Like, I don't know, just not being trained and then trying to work on a microwave oven.
so on fryers, I know you do a lot of our Pitco stuff. Do you prefer the millivolt stuff, or do you like the 24 volt, like low voltage gas house stuff like that? I mean, do you like the basic millivolt fryers, push and hold the pilot in, or what do you like about those?
No,
Anything
I like the 24 volt, the DC, the
automatic,
pumps.
the
Yeah,
automatic, the automatic ignition, so you're not lighting it.
I got a love-hate relationship with fryers. I think it's what I started out on, but some nights with the fryers really suck sometimes. Taking out pumps and uh,
Yeah, you've. I think right now we've got a bunch of fryer clogs. We're fighting everywhere.
oh yeah,
Multiple manufacturers. I mean, we've got a big one coming on right now, but um, I had a bad one at a Popeyes last week. It was terrible. I've never seen one this clogged before in my life. It was about as bad as the one you showed me the picture where you pulled it out. It was like you couldn't even see down the drain tube. You're like, how did
yeah.
they do this? Uh, all right. So, Rich, you love Mary Chef Brian. You're a sick man, dude. Scroll through here. Rich said he's watching in the shower. That's good to know. So, all right. You know, what do you think about on call life? I know we're not a high volume on call shop, but he's shaking his head no.
Oh, just we're not really high volume right now. I think the past few times I haven't really gotten a call or one that I can run at least. I'm on call right now, but I'll probably say that and get lit up on Saturday.
I took Jake's and didn't get nothing all weekend, so that worked out pretty nice for me. Worked out pretty nice for Jake too. So, um, yeah, on call life is that does it for a lot of guys, man. We've lost some guys because they don't want to be on call, or they think because there's a call on their schedule, that they have to run it. I'm like, it's 5 o'clock. There's another call on your schedule. You don't have to go. Just because it's 5 o'clock doesn't mean you have to run it. They put it out there hoping you will, but you don't have to run that call unless you're on call and it's overtime approved. It doesn't have to go after 5 o'clock. And I think a lot of guys are kind of turned off by that, but it's not as bad as it used to be. When I first started in this industry, dude, I used to absolutely get hammered on the weekends. And
Yeah, I don't mind it now. Even when we do pick up volume at that time of the year, like unless it's like late, and you got to drive somewhere and it's 9 o'clock and you got to drive to Columbus 2 hours away. Yeah, but the Sunday calls. Yeah, count me in.
it's this. You used to always get a call for an ice machine at a steak place in Terre Haute. Terre Haute's like 2 hours and 15 minutes from me. And it'd be Sunday at like 7 o'clock. I'm like, seriously, why did you wait till 7 o'clock on Sunday night? And it happened like every time I was on call. I'd go out there and clean the distribution tubes out, or clean some water out, or bypass the filter to get them by. And it was always an ordeal, dude. Like, it's never close. well, nothing's close for us. We're an hour away from the shop anyway, so nothing's ever close for us.
Yeah.
All right, so we covered some of the stuff you've worked on. We covered some of the stuff you want to work on. Um, anything you don't want to work on anymore? I know where you don't want to work at anymore.
Yeah, a couple places I don't want to work at anymore. Things I don't want to work on. Anything with a bunch of bugs in them. I know you like playing with your bugs, but not me.
They
Um,
don't bother
there's
me
there's not
generally.
really anything I don't want to work on, I guess. Maybe a couple of, I mean, I'll still work on them. A couple manufacturers that I don't want to work on,
So
but
talking about bugs, yesterday we changed a controller on a cooler. You're a major restaurant chain, and I pulled the cover off, and there's like signs of dead bugs everywhere and feces, and I pulled the controller out, and I'm putting a new one in. I look, and there's like eyeballs staring at me, and antenna moving, and I handed the Dalton. I'm like, put this back in the bag now. Put it back in the bag now. And Dalton's just looking at me. I'm like, put it back in the effing bag now. And he looks down, and a big old roach is staring back at him out through the controller, and I took it and wrapped it in like 20 layers, saran wrap it in 3 different bags. And I took a picture. I took all the pictures I needed. I told Matt, I said, "Hey, do not open this, dude." He's like, "Why?" I was like, "Why do you think it's wrapped up like this, dude?" I was like, "Don't open this thing. Just send it back to the manufacturer just like it is. Do not open it. I don't care what you do." But I mean, I will tolerate bugs to a point. If there's a whole ton of them, I just put it back in and walk away. I mean, we're not there to clean up, that kind of stuff. That's on the customer. Politely let the customer know, and generally go about your business unless it's uh, if it's only a couple, I don't I tolerate it.
yeah, if it's a couple, if I just see one or two, but if it's in the unit and there's some crawling around in there, just rather stay away.
You haven't
Stay
seen.
away.
I've seen some pretty bad ones, and I've had my days, so it comes and goes. You work on I know you had a pretty interesting dish machine call today. I don't know what's up with that. He sent me a video that the GC or someone on site took, and it's a champion
Jackson.
Jackson dish machine, and it's running, and you can hear all the contactors chattering. The lights in the building are flickering, but he couldn't get him to duplicate it when he was there on site. And so he spent like 2 hours there. Well, you were there
Three
twice.
hours today. I was there for an hour and a half. I was like, hey, call me back if it happens again. 15 minutes after I left. So I saw it when I got to my next job. Hey, it's happening again. So then I had to go back there, waited for another hour and a half. I just took the control panel off, sat on my ladder, and just waited for it to go down. Opening and closing it, starting the wash, just hanging out. Yeah, it's a weird one.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking incoming voltage issues. You have a loose wire somewhere. That's just going to be a hard one to catch. You're gonna good luck finding it.
Yeah.
You sent me a video. I was like, "Have you ever seen this?" I was like, oh, "What is that? Where are you at?" I'm sure either it'll stop doing it. I mean, generally, what happens is whatever's causing it will eventually burn out, and you'll be able to go find it, or
Yeah.
it's a building issue, and we'll never know. I mean, you'll just keep
Yeah.
chasing it. That's unfortunately, but that's how it works sometimes. Um, so garbage disposals, you don't like working on garbage disposals either, do you?
No, I will if I have to. All of this, I don't like doing it, but if I get asked to go out, I'll do it.
Me and Dalton and I changed a big one week before last. It was a 3 horse. It was some fun. Dalton hands me tools, and I yell at him when I'm spilling stuff and that kind of stuff. You know how it goes. Being an apprentice and a trainee. Uh, we're not going to be on here very long. I just wanted to get you on here for a little bit and talk about some of the things you've done, some of the reasons why you're in the industry, reason why you're here, some of the things you work on, some of the things you want to learn, and that kind of stuff. Just to show that there is a career path for people that are 18, 19, 20 years old. If you want to try this job, oh no, um, I gotta do something. With this. Yeah,
How
uh,
crazy, man.
not this guy again. I gotta hold on. Oh no, it's gonna feedback too. Sorry, guys, but I mean, there's plenty of options out there. It's not just our industry, but um, there's other trades out there. I mean, you can try some trades before you go to trade school on them. This is gonna feedback. Sorry. Other trades out there. Okay. Hey, actually, Brian, you're in here. Can you take care of that for me? If you're still in here. Oh boy.
I won't say anything.
Yeah. Here, let's do this.
I love Kamala.
There, I took care of that. Sorry about that. We got a little crazy in the chat there. I don't know. This dude came in a couple weeks ago. This dude came in a couple weeks ago and was like, he went on a rampage with the same stuff. And I don't know who this guy is or where he comes from, but holy smokes, dude, this ain't the place for it, man. You can have your political views all you want somewhere else, but I don't need them here. I'm not trying to deal with that mess. Um, so what was I talking about? Oh, trades. There's plenty of options in the trades. There's all kinds of stuff to do. You don't have to go to college. Like he said, he tried to be, yeah, he applied to be a lineman. Um, some other guys got in that had some experience in the electrical field. Probably is the best for him because he's not the greatest on ladders. Um, I've had him get on some roofs, and he was a little shaky at first on the extension ladder, and so maybe it worked out for the better. He didn't become a lineman.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it's the same guy, Rich. I put him in timeout for 24 hours. Um, oh wow. Yeah, well, it removed it on YouTube. It's still on here though. I'll take care of it though. But yeah, I appreciate you coming on and talking about working in this industry and stuff. I know it's been a rough, like you said, that first 8 9 months were pretty rough. I mean, you still have your days. I still have my days. I've been doing it 18 years. There's days I'm like, why did I decide I want to do this, or why did I say I want to work on this piece of equipment or this? I mean, every day we have our challenges, but you've got that right attitude. You don't give up, and you're persistent. You're not scared to call and ask for help. A lot of people have made comments like, "Oh, Corbin's got it made. He's your son." I'm like, "No, man, he's got it worse because I will ask him if he's stupid. I will like, I've told you this 20 times. I don't know why you're calling me." Like, I can get away with being mean to him. I can't get away with doing that to anybody else, but I can get away with doing it to you or Dalton. So, uh, I just say, they're just the only ones that actually call me. So, that's the only reason they got it lucky. So,
I mean, it was good having like Greg and some older guys to ask questions and to learn from. So that was a huge help, I think.
I haven't talked to Greg in a couple of weeks. He's enjoying retirement. I know he's been going up to his son moved to Minneapolis area, so they've been going up there. And he's just enjoying retirement. I'm not sure when Cheryl's going to retire. Probably when they decide to quit going on cruises 3 or 4 times a year.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here? And I end this political nightmare. Look, Greg's in here.
Greg's here.
That's funny. What's up, Greg? How you been, buddy? So Greg retired this year. He put 40 years in this industry, and he finally had enough and called it quits this year. He was an asset for some of the newer guys, Korbin, some of the other guys he did some good work with for. So, uh-oh. Ding.
It's Dalton. What time tomorrow?
What? Dude, he'll message me at like 10:30. I'm like, dude, I go to bed at 8. I don't know why you're messaging me at 10:30. So, anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here? Then,
not that I can think of.
He's like,
you're,
no.
You're the host here. Ask me more questions if you want to.
He's like, no, get me out of here. What's up, Brian? You got a question? Oh, he's talking to Pat, the other Pat. All right. Well, I'm not gonna keep you any longer. I am tired. I'm just a little loopy here. I think I overdid with the pre-workout at 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah, that's great.
But I appreciate you coming on, and like I said, I'm proud of you. you're doing a good job. 2 years in, you're making really good money. Yeah, you're doing a lot of good work. You're putting in the hours. You're still having fun on the weekends. I mean, just because you got a career doesn't mean you can't still be a 21-year-old
Yeah.
goofball.
21-year-old idiot. Yeah.
You got Abby to keep you in line. So
Yeah.
he just wants to know if he was compensated. No, he was not compensated for his appearance, Rich. He gets to use my barn. I give him a free tech support. That's how he's compensated for coming on the show. So, all right, man. Well, I'm gonna get off here. I appreciate you coming on, and I will talk to you tomorrow, man. See ya.
Yeah. See ya.